You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Learn more at wearelibertarians.com.
The Johnny Rocket Launchpad is Liberty. Each week we strive to bring you the best guests in talk radio. The Johnny Rocket Launchpad delivers weekly interviews of noteworthy politicians, experts, and activists. The Johnny Rocket Launchpad is bringing the party to the Libertarian Party and launching ideas in your direction. Check us out at johnnyrocketlaunchpad.com. You can hear me, Kurt Nelson, and the beautiful Heather Nixon talk about the ideas of liberty. Rock and roll.
Hey there, Liberty lovers. This is Mark Claire of the Lions of Liberty podcast, where we strive to bring you great conversations about the ideas of liberty 3 days a week, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Check us out at lionsofliberty.com.
Hey guys, this is Roger Paxton, and if you're fed up with the government running every single aspect of your life, but you're not listening to the Lava Flow podcast yet, then what's wrong with you? Check us out at thelavaflow.com, or just go back to sucking up to the government. The Lava Flow Podcast, striking the root every single episode.
We are supported by listeners like you. Donate per month or make a one-time donation through PayPal or Patreon at wearelibertarians.com. Welcome to We Are Libertarians for the fourth time. I'm your host, Chris Spangle. We Are Libertarians brings all of the irreverence modern politics deserves. We explain to you what the hell is happening in our world today and how to fix it by thinking differently. This is a podcast brought to you by the We Are Libertarians Network. Please be sure to rate and review us on iTunes, like us on Facebook, share this episode with friends, and support us on PayPal or Patreon. And we are always taking your questions and comments at editor at We Are Libertarians. And if you're new, we chit-chat for the first 20 minutes and then we get to the topic. Please stick around. So, this is normally...
Very professional.
Well, I'm never going to arrive at the level of professionalism of our guest tonight, which is Mr. Rob Kendall, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a pleasure to be here with you, and I know you'll introduce him momentarily. Creator, editor, innovator, owner of the We Are Memes Facebook page, now using his vast family fortune to sponsor content so I can enjoy my meme repeatedly.
Mr. Aaron Ewert is here.
How are you, gentlemen?
Meme proprietor.
I've been outed. I didn't want people to know, my secret obsession.
Except for the fact that you have a picture of yourself in the profile picture. Way to put yourself over, kid.
I actually admire Aaron. Like, he's dedicated his life to memeing.
Right.
Like, how can I help the cause? Like, he doesn't need to be out front.
Not being a father.
Nope.
Sorry, kids.
Not being sober.
He's literally... I mean, you posted some picture like you had drank a half a pitcher of beer or something. Your memes get better. And the more beer I know that you've drank, like... It's like pay-per-view. Like, I feel like you should make people pay based on the amount of alcohol you've had to drink.
Well, memes require a lot of dedication.
Mm-hmm.
And, sometimes you have to do things maybe your family doesn't like in order to...
Does your wife hate you?
Push the brand forward.
Does she hate you?
No, she's in love with me.
Yes, she does.
Because I feel like you could write a book, because you were telling me that one time, like, that you went to Haiti or somewhere and paid a stranger to swim you across a body of water.
He rode on his back like the white man should. Is that what you're saying?
That was Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
He carried me.
All right. Also joining us is the lovely, the vivacious, the beautiful Hailey Aycock. How are you, Hailey?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. How are you?
Now, you have been a constant source of, not just admiration, but also confrontation between Rob and I. Rob almost fought. We almost had a fist fight the last time he was here because he thought that I was sliding in DMs on you. He thought that I was hitting on you behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Well, that's not the story I was told.
And then there was a meme, I think maybe created by you, of Spangle sliding down a water slide.
Yeah.
That wasn't about her. That was about several dozen other women.
How many DMs are you sliding into, buddy?
I don't know.
Do you enjoy talking to other people's women? Like, I feel like you have more interest in talking to people that you can't have than those that you can.
No. I talk to Hailey because Hailey's my friend.
Yeah.
You take it a little too hard because
you were asking her for nudes the other day.
Yeah, but
and she sent you she sent you lipstick.
All right, you got me, okay? But I thought Bruce had her phone, so I thought your dog Bruce, he does
have a Facebook, so
I didn't. What did I ask you for? We were talking about it, and you told me to send that text message. There was some story behind it. I didn't. Don't make me look worse than I am.
You're an amazing human being, and we all love you.
No, I am on a no female diet at this point. Like, I am actively avoiding women. I'm trying.
What you want to go
That's
on with that,
laughable.
or
That's laughable.
You're
No.
I can't help it that
only eats vegetables.
yeah, exactly.
I can't help it that women talk to me, but I'm trying to take a break and just be
Spangle.
right, just be in the moment and not get involved in any
I
relationship.
saw that you started going to clubs.
like antelope clubs, or
No, like you went with Vibert, and I think Aaron was out
Yeah,
there with you.
oh, that was forever ago. Yeah, we got to go get our.
So that's not a regular thing now. You're not clubbing.
no. That was last fall. That's when his wife really hated.
No, that was a few months
That
ago.
was like a couple. Yeah, like
No, that was a year ago. But we went out.
No.
We went out like 3 months ago.
I thought maybe that was like going to be a new Spangle that we were going to bump into you at Kilroy's.
No, that was last year.
buying rounds
we
for
were
this.
everywhere. We were at Brothers. We were at Casbah. We were at the where were we? The
It was
piano
the
bar.
Rob Kendall drinking career tour.
Yeah.
We didn't sleep in our car like Rob Kendall. But
I had a great time in my early 20s last year. So, but and this year I'm trying to be I'm trying to take this seriously and do We Are Libertarian stuff all the time. We're launching an email newsletter that you can sign up for at wearelibertarians.com with Greg's links, and you can read what we're reading. I'm trying to be more serious, and work is just getting busier and busier. So
You're a mogul.
I'm trying to pay attention there.
You're a Bob and Tom's right hand, the Bob and Tom Show right hand man.
I don't know about right hand. Maybe
Won't get me an interview with Tom Griswold,
Left-
but hey,
left toe.
you're famous.
I'm the left toe man. I've asked 3 times, and if he doesn't respond to me, there's nothing I can do about it.
Did you hear about this, Aaron?
He's
the Griswold snub.
no, I didn't.
Spangle, oh, no problem. I told him I went on this very emotional thing. Spangle showed me all his Bob and Tom memorabilia. Went through this big emotional thing about how much Tom Griswold and the Bob and Tom Show meant to me growing up. Going to work, when my dad would go to work each day, would drop me off at daycare. Oh, no problem. Yeah, we'll hook you up with an interview with Tom Griswold. No interview. I can get Donald Trump.
Haley, I think he just likes to talk to people he can't have. No. The last time Rob was here, he accused me of trying to pick you up, and I said that wouldn't happen. She's too in love with you.
Aw.
And you're too nice to her. I would never buy you flowers like he buys you.
I would never go to Kroger.
I'm frankly suspicious of him because he's constantly doing nice things for you, and you are on a path for ruin, my man.
Really?
Yeah, because you got to keep this up. It'll be. Trust me, I've been married and divorced. Like year 8, she's like, "Remember what it was when we first met?" This is an accurate impression of Haley, of course. Remember? I'm just kidding. It's my ex-wife. I gotcha. Who's now remarried, apparently.
What? No, wait a second. Time out.
Congratulations to the ex, Mrs. Spangle.
Remarried?
Yeah.
This was fast.
Well, no, I
Not
think they were
really.
together a couple years. We've been divorced almost 3 years.
Did you know she didn't know that the marriage was planned?
I knew that it was going to happen. I didn't know when, but I found out that it happened.
You didn't know alimony or anything, right?
No,
So
no,
you have
no,
no
no,
financial
no.
freedom.
We cut ties that said, like...
He got the couch
Yeah.
and the credit card with it.
No. All I got was mittens and that bookshelf. That's it. So congratulations to her, but this is an accurate impression of her year 7. It's not like it was when we first met. You used to do so many nice things for me, and now you never do anything for me. Remember when you used to bring me flowers and you used to bring...
I've never been more annoyed with Spangle in my life.
Is that not how it is?
No. I've been married for 12 and a half years, and I've never gotten that speech.
You know, I feel like flowers are a great investment. I mean, what? I was trying to save him.
I was staring
I
him
was
down.
trying to
'cause
save the awkward pause. Flowers are a great investment, though. Haley loves color. She's very colorful.
Investment? What currency are you getting back, Rob?
It's a great investment in my love for Haley, our relationship, our wonderful, amazing relationship.
Well,
Rob
she
loves
is
the
a...
word wonderful, doesn't he?
Well, she's...
It's all wonderful.
She is so wonderful.
She is. She's great. She's wonderful. She's glowing. You're glowing, Haley.
Blushing is the word.
You accidentally slipped. I could let this go and be a bro, but I got to point it out because she did not miss it. You slipped and called her your lovely bride.
Yeah, that I did.
Yeah, and you should have seen her face. It went from.
She was like,
Did he say
"Excuse
that?
me?"
Did he say that? Oh my god, I gotta text my girlfriends right now. I think he's gonna propose.
Yeah, that's not the face.
So,
Oh wow.
So that was a vomitous face then.
It was that's news to me. I'm a very black and white contractual kind of person.
I told Hailey once that I would love to propose to her when that day comes on the We Are Libertarians show.
He did say that.
I couldn't think of a better place.
Live show?
did say that.
Would you be okay with having a proposal at We Are Libertarians Live?
Well, now I would know.
And now
No.
No.
You guys come to all of them.
Yeah.
Oh, I come to all of them?
I mean, because
Yeah.
I got a list of things that are supposed to happen during the proposal. There was an article apparently written. Is that right, dear?
Yeah, it's like something very popular.
There were 6 things you're supposed to do.
Whoa.
I was talking about
I
a friend.
had a-
How did you do it?
Well,
Well, they went to
was very-
KFC in Martinsville.
Were you sober?
I was very. I didn't drink till I was like 26.
And then
And
he
now
made
you're
up
making up for
Yeah.
lost time.
He can't find his way home. He can't figure out who these small
Oh.
midgets in his house are.
Yeah. Whatever. No,
Aaron
Aaron is
is
very
a-
romantic.
Aaron
I was
is a
very-
great dad. We
I-
tease.
We tease. I spent several months convincing Becky that I had an obsession with old books from the 1800s. And she was like, what is the deal with this new hobby he's taking up, So eventually I took one of these books and I cut with an X-Acto knife a 2-inch by 2-inch square out of every piece or every page all the way through the book. And I put the ring box inside of the book. And I laid it up on the dash, and I thought, surely this will take months before she opens it on one of our dates. It's like, oh, this is one of those stupid books you got.
So you're thinking that way you have time to back out in case you change your mind.
Well, no. So then, so then I just write on the first opening, on the hard, it was a hardback, leather-bound, nice old book I destroyed. I opened it up, and it just said, so will you?
It was the first edition of Vonnegut's
Probably.
first novel.
Yeah, I have it at
$19
home,
million.
and I feel terrible that I don't know what the name of the book is because I should know. But this was when I was 18 years old. So anyhow, it says, so will you? And we're going on a date like we always did on Friday night. It's laying on the dash of my car, and she grabs the book and is like, oh, is this one of the books you bought for your collection? And
You stupid asshole.
yeah, just like you idiot, and opens it and immediately starts crying and is like, yes. And, so
Ever since it's been no.
we were engaged for a year and then we got married when we were 19.
The only
And it's
time
been,
Aaron has ever gotten angry at me was when I called him on social media a great part-time father.
I was I was just like, this has gotten out of hand. Greg started this with Tyler a few years ago and it's snowballed a little bit.
A little bit. No, it's because I'll tell you why.
It's always Greg's fault.
Not only is it hilarious to joke about you being a bad dad, and you got it last year you weren't a bad dad, but like we were going out like all the time. I mean, we were going out like almost every weekend.
Yeah.
And you were with us, and like every female in our social circle was walking up to me going, his wife must be so upset.
No, my wife is not a angry bitch like most of your friends, I guess. So
She lets you pretty much.
she doesn't care.
yeah.
No, she'd rather just. She's the opposite. I'm very social, and she
Right.
realizes I need to experience these things
Right.
to
Sure.
feel
To grow. You're
to grow
growing
and
the
feel-
We Are Memes empire.
I have to.
I mean, you've
I have to
invested your
experience
life
life.
fortune
And
in
she
the We Are
likes to
Memes.
go to bed at 9 or 10 o'clock and read books by herself.
I just love that you proposed in the most 18-year-old male way you possibly could. Like, Hailey, when you were like in your teen years, which you're what, 23?
24.
24, yeah. So you're a youngin'. So you're not that far removed. Like, what was the dorkiest thing that like in high school a guy did for you?
One guy bought me a bunch of goldfish. And he was talking about how however many days they were supposed to be alive was how many how many hours they were supposed to be alive was how many hours he thought about me or something like that.
What?
That doesn't make sense.
Because like the goldfish,
I wrote-
each one's supposed to live
I wrote
like so many
tons of
days.
poems for Becky, and if she ever finds them, I will be
Mortified.
mortified. No, I know she kept them somewhere.
Yeah.
And Spangle's going to try to find them now. He's texting her now.
I'm literally sending her a message. So, literally.
article-
He's going to read one on
This
on
article,
the podcast.
Chris, it had all the, like 6 things.
Hold on.
What are we doing?
Hey Becky, in case you ever happen to find those
He's on
love
Snapchat right
those
now
love
with my
poems that Aaron wrote you, please send those my way. Just sending, sliding in them DMs.
Yep.
So anyway, this article had 6 things you're supposed to do, and one of them was it was supposed to be a surprise, and there had to be somebody there to take a photo of it. So I told Hailey, surprise, we're around some of my best friends. We are Libertarians crew, and there's somebody there to take the photo.
Exactly.
I'm like 3/6 of the way there.
So you gave him demands before he
No,
could propose
no.
to you?
No, I was actually talking about one of my friends who got proposed. I was like, oh, I wonder if he did this or that. And then he was like, what are you talking about? And I showed him the list. And so now he likes to turn into that I'm some demanding woman.
Yeah.
She seems like a hard woman to me. I mean, she
never has demanded that I do it. I'm just going to try to live up to
her veiled
what she
expectations.
deserves. Everything she deserves.
What she deserves.
And she deserves the best flowers Walmart/Kroger has to offer.
Exactly.
But you know what?
Speaking of Kroger, I brought Spangle a gift from Kroger.
He brought an offering.
I was supposed to be here last week, and my dog fell ill, and I took a rain check. So
Which was inexcusable.
Inexcusable.
We-
My
well,
dog was dying. Is basically my daughter, and you gave me hell for not coming. But I brought you a cake for your
You
birthday.
and Becky had an ugly baby.
Yeah. Well, she was very cute. She was a French bulldog, and but anyhow, here's a cake with the word Spangle on it.
Don't tip that too far. He's tipping on
you
his
think it's
son.
gonna fall?
Yeah, don't.
No, it's not going to fall.
It's a 1/8 yellow cake.
It is.
Right, yellow cake in honor of Colin Powell.
I thought it was 1/5.
That's 3/5.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So
And it's got some lovely balloon. They look like balloons on them.
Yeah, balloons, pink and blue and
I
green.
call it pink balloon.
Do they ask you who it's for, when you go to do that?
I just said it was for my special friend Spangle, and she was like, by the looks of you, I'm not even going to ask any more questions. I'm just going to make the cake. Just bake the cake.
Just bake the cake.
Yes.
Gary Johnson would have been so proud.
You forced someone to bake me a cake. I am so proud. So thank you very much. I still don't forgive you for not being here last week.
That's all right.
As I don't forgive Harry, who Harry had his wedding last Saturday night and couldn't be here because of wedding preparations. And I just have to say, Harry, where's your commitment to We Are Libertarians?
Shouldn't we start calling him Lion Harry? Because didn't he tell us one time when I was here that he's not getting married and he's so happy with the way it is? And
Yeah, anarchist.
Meanwhile, he's completing the 6 items that he has to do before he proposes.
I had a fancy white wedding to go to, so I missed Harry's wedding.
No, you went to a Martinsville wedding.
It was there was hay bales. And
do they still have the water boil?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's why I have so many food allergies, because I ingested so many chemicals from Martinsville's water system as a child.
In Martinsville, did you only have one side of seating for the wedding?
I had to stand
Since
because
there
they
weren't
didn't
two sides of the family.
There wasn't. No, come on now. There wasn't enough hay bales. I had to stand, but it was a fancy wedding.
That's outrageous. Yeah. So Harry, congratulations. I kid. I am sorry about your dog.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
I am. Listen, I am a caring individual. When you got in your life-threatening car wreck, I waited 15 minutes to make a meme.
Yeah.
So I'm not, which is...
Well, my phone was bombarded because, that was the one time I probably didn't check Facebook in like 2 hours, in the last 3 years. And I open it and I've got 75 notifications with my car wrecked into the Twin Towers, all kinds of stuff, classy stuff.
See, the thing is Aaron literally, more than anybody I've ever met, he's really hard to rustle. He's hard to rattle. Like, there are certain things, like I have a job that I don't want to get fired from. He doesn't. He wants to get fired. No, he's got.
I dare you to fire me.
He's got family security. We respect the bounds of good meme play, so we don't bring Becky and the kids into it.
What are the rules of the house here?
Yeah.
Do we need to read those?
I have
the first one.
I
Don't
only
get
have
anyone fired, Chris.
Yeah, don't do anything that ends a marriage or starts one. Don't break my things or do anything that will annoy me, like touching my things.
I think that was because of me, right?
Yeah, and don't annoy my cats. That was because of Samantha Nix. And then don't get too drunk.
Tad Western. Is that for Tad Western?
That was for Tyler.
That's the only complaints you've ever had about Tyler.
He gets too drunk.
He does.
Yeah.
How do you get too drunk at a podcast?
Well, he does. He starts mumbling and
Like how? Like I mean, let's say the thing goes 2 hours. How much could you possibly drink?
No, he can drink.
I mean, in 2 hours though.
Greg can finish off a 6-pack when we're sitting here.
Yeah, but Greg, I feel like it does a fine job of handling his alcohol.
I just got a note. Could you please stop eating in the microphone?
No.
I just got a note here from
I'm
Dr.
sitting here to annoy you.
Just got a note here from Dr. Oz. Greg's test results are in.
Where is Greg?
His blood alcohol content is 97% doer. So,
yeah, he claims he's too sick to be here, but he's on the internet memeing, so I don't believe in his sickness.
well, it's the aggressive AIDS that he got. So he's currently having chemo to treat them. So I wish I knew if I had done that joke earlier in the show. So if I'm repeating that joke, I don't know.
No, you didn't.
We started this over 4 times.
No one knows where Greg is.
Oh.
You haven't explained that.
Oh, yeah. Well, Greg called in sick.
Yeah.
I've been doing radio 15 years, and I've never once called in sick.
Right.
I always thought it was funny. I've never called in sick because like 10 other
You
people
barely work.
No, like 10 other people
work less
depend
than
on
Jeff
me
Ibbert.
coming. If I don't come to work, then like a lot of things don't get done, and then other people it affects a lot of people. So it's funny, your level of commitment is based on how much does this mean to your life?
Right.
And I don't know if Greg's all that committed.
He's no show lens.
No call, no show.
Yeah, no call, no show lens. He's getting a reputation. I got to be honest. He really wanted to be here, but Rob is going to be here, so he called. This is the second time, Rob.
Yeah, he does not like me.
This is the second time.
Agnos must have been contagious.
Yeah, he's got a bad case of the no-show at Nagnoses.
Yeah.
Chloe's not even here. We don't know where she's. Like, Chloe
I
has.
saw Chloe's boo today.
Who? Me?
Huh? Kyle.
Oh. Me. Oh.
Pedro.
Her boo. I thought you said booth.
No, I was at
showing her
the Goat
booth.
headquarters today, and he was there.
Showing her booth all over town. Yeah, she's at some mysterious place, and nobody knows where she's gone, and nobody will tell me where she's gone. So I, of course, knew I couldn't count on her to be anymore on any podcasts. And she will be back sometime in November or December. I've speculated that it's sex addiction. So
Kyle was looking a little worn down today. Now I think it might have been the campaign.
It's not the campaign. It's just that she's off at sex rehab and he's used to it 19 times a day. So you know what I'm talking about, Hailey. So Hailey, I've got to. You should see her face. Her face is priceless. Hailey, I've got to ask you a question. This is kind of a personal question. Let's just pretend it's you and me. Okay, look at me. Look at me right.
Okay.
Look at me right in the eyes. Are you ashamed to have a boyfriend that has such a small board?
Oh, no.
Look at the board he has over there.
Look how big my board is compared to Rob's board.
Yeah, but he has to travel a lot. Like, he goes to all the different places and he has sports.
So you're saying it's the motion of the board that counts. It's not the size.
Now, Spangle, I think we all know that not only in my case is it the motion of the board, but the actual board that counts is the nice size.
It got the job done with the Johnson.
Yeah.
So it got the job done, as our listeners heard.
He watched me set my equipment up. It was kind of flattering.
Well, he's very nice, so he's not going to compliment the compactness.
Yeah, I think he was
the
quite
board here.
impressed.
Yeah.
Curtis Hill told me today, like he looked at the setup and he's like, Curtis Hill's the Republican candidate for Attorney General.
Sure.
Be on the show on Tuesday.
All right.
WYRZ.
Literally
98.9.
5 listeners.
WYRZ.org.
Central Indiana Today.
Central Indiana Today, 7 to 7:30 weeknights. But he told me, he looks at it and he goes, "You're sort of like a one-man band, huh?" I was like, "That's right. I can go anywhere and broadcast anything.
He can hold all his things with all that space not taken up by the size of his board.
I can put it in a backpack."
He's just putting his board on the internet. I mean, I don't,
I'm so proud of that board.
I know.
I've had that board for 11 years.
It's a Behringer, which is to have that kind of longevity, to have a board of that brand last that long.
I've taken good care of it.
Yeah.
Been through a lot of battles with me.
You polish it up.
It was a parting gift from the old WKLU. And,
A quote-unquote parting gift.
as any of our radio professionals will know all about.
Yeah, there's always, when you're leaving the radio station, they always send you off with batteries.
If it's in your possession and they tell you not to come back, what are you supposed to do?
Headphones.
They distinctly said, "Do not return."
Microphones.
I only wish I'd had the tie line with me when they told me not to come back.
A tie line is like a very nice professional broadcast system that makes it sound like you're crystal clear.
Yeah.
Between when you're out in the field.
Quite valuable.
Like $5,000 easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they still use the tie line, though, with, like, internet being so prevalent now?
Yeah. No, the tie line has gotten into voice over. Tie line's actually based out of Indiana. But we, at where I work, use something called the Comrex.
Yeah, okay.
So, which uses LTE cell signals.
You got the best stuff over there at the Q.
Oh, it's great stuff.
You guys are, it's an empire.
They just got a brand new board, Haley, over where I work.
Is that the Tom Griswold board?
No. This is over in the back end. This is over where the plebes are.
You know, I'd love to get a tour of the Q95 Bob and Tom studio someday. That's what I know.
I have at least 3 tours.
I'm not running sponsored content on Facebook, but
you don't have weird memes money.
I mean, it's always been a lifelong dream. So even though I'll never get that interview with Tom Griswold, maybe someday I'll get this tour of the studio.
Listen, I have asked 3 times.
Does he not like me?
No. I think he just doesn't know who you are.
But did you tell him I interviewed Donald Trump?
He doesn't do interviews. It's just how he is.
How does a guy who spends his day, who's one of probably the 5 most famous radio broadcasters in the country right now, maybe one of the 10 most important radio broadcasters of all time, how does he not do interviews? He's in the promotion business.
Because I don't know for sure, but I would look at it, I think, knowing him as I do, which is so well, Rob, he's got his own radio show. What does he need yours for? You know what I mean? And so when you get to a certain level, there's just so many more obligations, and you just have to it's like politics. You just got to stay in your lane.
Right.
Just stay in your lane and don't get cute. Don't do too much. Just stay with what's successful.
I'm
not saying you're not successful.
I'm not giving up hope.
I don't think you should.
I won't stop believing.
You know I'm always in your corner.
It's Griswold and Limbaugh.
Unless you and Haley break up, and then I'm in Haley's corner.
And then it's a free-for-all?
Yeah.
All bets are off.
Right.
Really, Griswold and Limbaugh are the only 2 left that I need to interview.
That's it.
You know, so and Springsteen, if you could arrange that too. You guys got to argue Speedwagon. I mean, they're not quite Springsteen.
No. That's what I didn't really know anything about them, and they're really nice guys.
Well, you think about Kevin Cronin, and he gets a lot of crap from people for the stuff he did in the early '80s, but a phenomenal songwriter, one of the best, certainly out of that era. And Gary Richrath and all those guys were just great people and very influential, especially in this part of the country.
Super nice guys. I'd like to point out that I'm in the entertainment media biz. Aaron. So what I do is I take the radio and I put it on the internet.
Right.
And Facebook Live is king. Yeah. Facebook Live kills. Nobody uses Periscope anymore.
I'm about to switch to. I was just thinking that. I've got 2 viewers right now.
2 viewers on Periscope over here.
What out of how many? Like how many are they followers?
Twitter.
Anyone can follow. I mean, you could just look at the map and it shows that you're broadcasting in Indiana.
But people don't know what you're broadcasting?
Well, no, I said We're Libertarians Podcast.
Oh, okay. So somebody would see that description and go, that interests me. I'm going to check it out.
Yeah, there's 2 people watching you right now.
Wow.
This is interesting.
Yeah. Aaron always brings the interest. I don't even know what we're going to talk about this episode, to be quite honest. I really want to cover Hillary's health when Greg's here. But we can talk a little bit about that. We'll talk a little Trump. We all went to the Gary Johnson event.
Great event.
Yeah. Great event.
Great event. I had a wonderful time. And I got to leave before the thing even started.
Yeah. So yeah, if you download the variety of We're Libertarians podcasts, let's go through there. So let's take a break here.
Did you post my interview yet?
Yes, I did.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
God bless you.
So let's pause just a moment and talk a little bit about the other We're Libertarians podcast. This will be brief. We're gonna start giving you little breaks. So if you're driving in the car, every 20, 30 minutes we'll try and do a little break, so that way we're pausing when you are walking in and you can start right up and you're not going to miss a thing. And, so that way it's radio chops. You're a radio professional.
That's very exciting.
I'm trying to standardize things a little bit and get a format going.
You guys have come so far.
We have. We started with a little board and now we're here. So if you go into iTunes or go to WeAreLibertarians.com or Stitcher or Google Play, you can check out all of the We Are Libertarians podcasts. There's the Chris Spangle Show. There's the Creating Maya Show, which Maya is transgender, and I ask every question you could possibly ask. And
watching the two of you weep together on Facebook Live, Hailey will tell you I sat and watched the whole thing, and I said, "Sweetheart, this did I not say this is so compelling?"
He did, and then he asked me to get on, and it said that we were watching together, and I was like, "Aw, a couple that watches together stays together."
That's very cute.
I was like, I can't turn away from this.
I was watching it in the basement. I come upstairs, Becky's watching it upstairs.
Really?
Yeah.
It was Maya talking about how she wanted to kill herself, and I was like 3 days out from a breakup with Emily.
Yeah.
And we were emotionally raw. That was the second episode of the second season. It's very, very interesting. And Maya's going through... I met Maya at a party a couple weekends ago, and she's going through a lot of interesting stuff, and she's going to be back soon. So we just wanted to take a pause. For those wondering, Maya ended up going and getting some help and getting on some medication, and she's doing great.
I recommend the song by Third Eye Blind called Jumper to Maya. And so, Maya, if you're listening, please turn that on and listen. It helped me out through a very hard time as well.
Oh, I thought you were saying jump off a bridge.
No. It's,
Did you not? Did you
Won't
too?
you step back from that ledge, my friend?
Oh, okay.
This
you know
guy
that song.
runs a very valuable media empire, so I'm just going to go with whatever he says.
Right.
Yeah. Just listen to me.
So Creating Maya is one of the best shows, one of the best podcasts I've ever done, where I just ask all the questions like, all right, so you're transitioning from male to female, what are you doing with your balls?
Right.
And she answers everything and talks about all the different aspects of being trans, and I think the reason we did it is because so many people have so many questions, but they're so afraid to ask because they want to tiptoe around it.
Except for Snyder. He just asks them.
Yeah. At that party...
he just asks questions.
Just like, so...
just shoots them out.
Looks over at Maya and goes,
What's your deal?
So what's your deal?
Totally Agnos. Totally Agnos.
What do you mean, my deal? Well,
what's the deal with the
what's your
the
situation?
tank top? You got the tank top. It's very aggressive.
and the tank top said
pro-trans, anti-state, trans symbol. And
your buddy Snyder was just confused.
He was. He wasn't afraid to ask us, the questions everyone in the room wanted to ask. But
It's a very compelling show. You can actually hear Spangle weep openly with a transgender person. It's quite compelling.
Listen.
I told Hailey. I said, Hailey, I can't turn this off.
Who am I not to weep?
I had somewhere to go too, and I was like, I can't even turn it off because I can't lose the data feed of leaving my Wi-Fi to get away from the Wi-Fi.
It was intense. So yeah, check that out. The Chris Spangle Show, We Are Libertarians articles, Raw Audio Politics, the Gary Johnson for President podcast, where I rip audio for you.
Am I on there?
Yeah, you're in that feed.
Great.
Yep. So
where
check
all my
those
new
out.
fans are coming from.
That's exactly right. So thank you for downloading all of the We Are Libertarians podcast and help us grow by sharing those. All right, so Rob Kendall, you are an interviewer extraordinaire.
I'm the best.
You are the best interviewer. I really don't understand what your plan is in life.
He's in the closet.
Well,
What? Huh?
Libertarian closet.
Oh,
he does shave his arms. I'm a little concerned about that.
Spangle is convinced that Vibert and I are going to end up in a relationship together. He's been working on that for...
It could be you or Seth. I don't know.
Sweetheart, can you vouch for the limited chance, as in zero, that will ever happen? That Vibert and I will end up in a relationship together?
There's a little bit of hesitation in her eyes.
She's like, what?
What do you want me to say?
That I am of the...
He wants you to
the
prove
male,
that he's homo.
female...
Tell my friends I'm not gay, okay?
That's exactly right.
We are in a relationship. He is not gay.
See? There you go.
I have been asked, is that redheaded chick his beard? I haven't. No. I'm sure they're fully intimate. All right, so I meant in like a relationship way, not sexual. You pervert. So, Rob, you are well known.
Yeah.
Here in town for being the top interviewer.
Yeah.
Who have you interviewed?
So we've interviewed everybody from Donald Trump to Mike Pence,
Okay.
the esteemed governor of the state of Indiana.
All right, when am I going to start wanting to listen to the show?
Anybody and everybody. Dan Coates, Joe Donnelly, all your favorites. John Gregg,
Melissa Donahue.
Eric Holcomb, Todd Young. if you name it, if they're involved in politics in the state of Indiana, pretty much
Rex Bell.
Rex is a great guest, by the way.
Is he?
He's a wonderful person to interview. He's very real.
Genuine person.
Yes, he's very, he's not afraid to make fun of himself.
So this sly son of a bitch interviewed Melissa Donahue and then didn't tell us. And then the next, this was after this post feud, and then had Greg and I on the next day, hoping to try and goad us into some sort of feud. Which I leave my.
But see, I feel like I started the whole libertarian food fight that took place this year in the primary. It really started on my show when you guys got called out, and the whole party disintegrated quickly because of my program.
No,
What?
You gave me the cover, but no, it was percolating.
Because as soon as he said it, I was like, "Oh, that's going to be fun." In fact, I told Hailey, I said, "This is going to be great."
I saw Jim Wallace the other day at the Gary Johnson event, and every time that Jim and I see each other and Greg, it's all very cordial. And
He spoke very highly of you the other day.
He's doing a great job at the Gary Johnson campaign. Jim did not win that convention fight that we talked about earlier this year, but went on to work with the Gary Johnson campaign, and I have to commend him. I mean, he didn't win his race and then take his ball and go home. He found a different place where he could be just as effective or more effective even, and is now like number 2 with Gary Johnson in the country. So kudos to Jim. I think that it's really, I like that Jim didn't have an ego or have all this pride and then just storm off. I probably would have been petty and done that.
Yeah.
So so I have to say I really like that.
Well,
so,
here's the thing I've always said about Jim. He's a very compelling guy. He's a charismatic guy. He's very articulate. And he's just a guy that knows a lot and knows how to maneuver in a lot of different areas. He can adapt. He can respond. He's been a very successful business guy, and so it was a good hire for Gary Johnson. And he's done an awesome job working for those guys.
So you got to actually interview Gary Johnson.
I did.
It was, I think, one of the things in the feed. So you can go back and listen to your 11-minute of riveting radio with.
He had a great time.
Gary Johnson. He came up to me after the press scrum and he said, "I don't need to do this press scrum. I don't need to have a press conference. I have been asked all the questions I need to be asked. I have been interviewed by the best."
What's an Aleppo?
What would you put it? What's a Buca de Beppo?
What's a Buca de Beppo? Who knows?
I laughed at that for 30 minutes until Hailey was like, "Put it down."
Hey,
and then again later.
That's yet to be sponsored.
Well, literally, I laughed all the
I only
way
have so
into
much
the
of my
store,
budget for
and
memes.
then came out of the store and was laughing again. And Hailey's like, "That's enough."
I feel like she is really good for you.
She's
really
wonderful.
Yeah.
she's so great for me.
Put the camera on Haley, please.
Oh, okay.
Let's show Haley a little
She
bit.
loves it. Yeah, she's on Facebook Live now.
She's very cute.
She's beautiful.
Yeah, she's
gorgeous.
So beautiful.
So amazing.
Of all the women in this room, she is the most gorgeous.
No, Hailey has really been, and I will say this. As many people know, I was a bit flamboyant when I was an elected official.
You're a bit of a dandy.
Oh, yeah.
I was a bit
confirmed bachelor.
I was a bit over the top sometimes.
Sure.
And
yeah, we remember her.
Yeah. I was
sorry, Haley. She was nuts.
But Hailey has had such a positive impact on my life personally, but also professionally, because early on in our relationship, when I told her, "Hey, I'm done with town council, I'm going to go back and start doing this radio thing," she said, "You catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar." And that's sort of been my approach to radio, is not being nearly the type of person I was when I was an elected official, and I think that's why I've got a lot of these interviews.
Well,
aggressive.
Yes, not as aggressive. Thank you.
You're
Dude.
not going to cut taxes being a a
Well,
little sheep.
and that's the difference. When you're an elected official, you're literally fighting for other people's lives.
Yeah.
And so I took it very personally, and I'd like to say I left with an 80% approval rating amongst my constituents.
He saved people a lot of money in
I was the
Brownsburg.
greatest tax cutter in Hendricks County history. But
put the camera on me.
Okay.
I know a lot about politics. There's no fucking way that you did a poll and found that you had an 88% approval rating.
would you like me to tell you how I know?
How much did you pay for the poll?
The every year the town does what's called the citizen survey, where they send it out. You have to fill it out and send it back in, and 80% rated the town government, my final year in office, as good or great, they were being governed good or great.
Hailey.
That's not even fair. 80% good or great.
He went to the McDonald's for an hour and polled everyone that came up.
Hi, I'm Rob Kendall. What do you think of me?
Hey, you look at never lost an election that I was a part of or people that I supported in town. Brownsburg's awesome. It's done so many great things. So
I'm surprised when I drove by City Hall the other day, there was not a bronze statue of Rob Kendall.
There should have been.
There really should have
Trying
been.
really hard.
They didn't have enough tax money.
Our buddy Jason Hammer put something up today on Facebook. He was in Brownsburg, and he put something like, when are they going to put the Rob Kendall Memorial up? And I said, when I die. And I said, I'll give you a list of people that are interested
Yeah.
and happy to assist.
I'm now Facebook living Aaron. Facebook living. Yeah. So but see, you're saying that the town government had an 88% approval rating, not you.
Well, everybody labeled me as the leader. So, I mean, I don't know whether that's right or not, but I'll take it. Spangle, all publicity is good publicity.
I do know that, yes.
And anyway, so when I got into radio, Hailey was like, look, maybe you ought to take the likable Rob Kendall side. Maybe you ought to let people see that. And I've really tried to do that, to be very fair, to be very nice to everybody.
Right.
And I think that's why we get as many interviews as we do, is because people know they'll be treated very well.
Yeah. You really got into the Trumpian cadence there for a little bit. So now I've noticed you've backed off that a little bit.
Yeah, Trump made some decisions I wasn't super happy with. And
right.
So a little bit of that is worn off. But
Please expound.
The Trump grassroots campaign, people did ask me to do a video for him last night, so I felt very honored. I did that.
You did what? For who?
There's a massive grassroots group with Donald Trump. It's got like 8,000 members, and they asked me to do a video to motivate them last night for the Facebook page. So I did it, and so I think I'm still Bay over there at Trump Industries.
Well, there's nobody else who is supporting him. So
just the majority of people who are going to vote.
So listen, Hailey, you're a Republican.
I am.
I can't believe you admit that.
Why? I'm the YR chair.
Oh, you are the YR chair. So are you voting for Trump? Mm-hmm. Okay. You seem so happy about it. And speak right into that mic for me, please.
I am voting for Donald Trump.
Just play it over and over and over again on the podcast, buddy.
So what's your justification?
Well,
He's Republican?
Well, not just that. I do think that he's the best alternative, in my opinion.
Okay.
Now, you love Johnson, but Johnson's a crazy person. And I'm going to tell you right now.
You were very nice to him.
I am. And I think he's got a lot of good ideas economically. But I will tell you, the open border stuff, absolutely petrifying.
How is that petrifying?
It's petrifying. A country with no borders is not a country.
We have a negative immigration rate right now. There are more people leaving our country than coming in.
There are sanctuary cities where people are killing people, and these cities are defending them, and the federal government is doing nothing. People are literally dying, and there are people who we know here who are murderers and drug dealers and violent people, and the federal government not only is doing nothing, they're rewarding those people. Right. We have a immigration crisis in this nation.
So you were telling me that the federal government is ineffective at policing and protection.
I'm saying they refuse to do it. A law that was signed in 1986. See, everybody seems to forget the law. The wall is law. It was signed in 1986 as part of an amnesty.
It was never funded.
Right.
Exactly. They've refused to fund it, but it is the law. It is the law. So this idea when Donald Trump comes out and says we're going to build a wall, for 30 years, that's been our public policy.
Right.
The wall is public policy.
Right. And it's never going to get done. And it's never going to actually take place.
Why?
So why? Why are there sanctuary cities? Let me ask you that. Why are there cities filled with immigrants who are killing people?
I believe that we have those cities such as San Francisco who see registered Democrat vote. What's that?
San Francisco, you mean?
Thank you, Aaron.
San Francisco, and they're riddled a lot, especially in West Coast, certainly, who see a future generation of Democrat voters. And they're going to protect those people because of the anchor baby status, to keep those people in the country so they can have people who will ensure a generation of Democrat voters. And I think that's the only possible explanation, that you have dangerous, violent people in this country and you're doing nothing about it, and they're killing people.
You mean like everyone who lives in Chicago?
Right,
so here's where the argument is flawed, in my opinion, because you're talking about dangerous and violent people who are fed weapons and money by our drug enforcement agency. Our drug policy props up these kingpins, and so you can't advocate. Get the camera out of my face. You're really throwing me off.
Oh, see, now the pressure's on, and he's
no. It's
old
just,
Lion
it's just,
Chris getting caught.
no.
Can't handle the camera.
I'm not getting caught. I'm saying that when you look at the problems that surround this issue, we're all talking about government-made problems. We're talking about the drug war, which directly and indirectly funds all of these cartels. We're talking about immigration, which... for me, it's a philosophical issue. So, do you, Greg? You got your hat backwards now, and it's throwing me off. Do you, Rob?
And I'm using the Greg microphone, aren't I?
You are. Do you believe that your rights come from God or nature, if you're an atheist, or do you believe they come from the government?
I believe they come from God as our nation was founded, but we are a nation of laws. Mm-hmm. We are defined by a constitution and a Bill of Rights. The Constitution is the greatest idea ever conceived by man, and we are a nation of borders and boundaries. It's what makes America.
Functionally, you believe that your rights come from the state.
No, I believe our rights, as our documents that are written, come from God, which is what the Constitution is based on, in large part.
See, what libertarians believe is that your rights are natural, or your rights come from God, and therefore you can't keep people from freedom. If people want to come here and be a part of a more free system, they have that right. It's our duty to bring more people into our country and make our country a stronger place. You son of a bitch.
Now zoom in.
Yeah, zoom in right on my double chin, please. We libertarians don't believe that the state... First, we really don't think the state should exist.
Well, you don't believe in police. You're pretty candid about that.
No, I believe in police.
Flopping Chris. Changing his mind.
No, because there's nuance. I believe that there should be private court. I believe that there should be public courts, and I believe that there should be some agency like sheriffs to help administer those courts. But I think if people handle their own security privately, I think it'd be much more efficient. I don't think that we need the government to handle nearly as much as we do.
Okay, so...
I believe in the free market, Rob, unlike Republicans.
No, wait a second. So I think we would all agree, right, in terms of libertarian thinkers, Dr. Michael Munger, one of the great libertarian thinkers, Duke economist, ran for governor in North Carolina in 2008 as a libertarian, was part of the Reagan administration, wonderful guy, was the guy that really inspired me to get into elected office and get off the sidelines as a broadcaster and into elected office. We'd all agree he's a good libertarian thinker, right?
Sure, absolutely.
I thought he had, years ago, he told me this on the radio, and it's always stuck with me. And Trump said something very similar to this.
Another great thinker.
Another wonderful, brilliant thinker. He said, I want a big wall with a very wide gate. Mm-hmm. Can we agree? Can we agree that we need to know who's coming in and out of the country?
Metaphorically.
As a matter of rhetoric, that's a great line. But
I think
as
a physical wall is silly.
As a matter of policy, that's just not tenable.
But see, it's only because you don't want it to be. We have to know who's coming in and out of the country. There has to be ways to keep people from coming into this country.
Why?
Because I don't want murderers and drug dealers and people that are leeching off the system and are here to do harm in this country.
That already exists in this country.
Right, and it has to stop.
So how can you effectively screen... Don't you do it, Aaron. How can you effectively screen people to know whether they're murderers or not?
You can do a background check. You can know who's coming here.
I think that the rap against libertarians, I think that like Gary Johnson's policy is open borders, but it's also it's not just have no immigration system whatsoever. Like Gary Johnson's position is if you want to come here and be a student, if you want to come here and work, then we make the process of naturalization, we make the process of coming to this country much, much easier and, frankly, a lot less bigoted. You still have a screening process. If you have a criminal record in your home country, you don't come in. But building a wall is foolish. In 2010, John McCain was running for Senate back then, and he was walking along the Arizona border fence talking about how that fence was so important and keeping all them Mexicans out. And every single panel of the fence had been patched because someone had come along with a blowtorch and had come through. Like, that's stupid. It doesn't work. It's not effective. And what we're doing now doesn't work. And so when you tell me that Ronald Reagan enacted a wall policy in 1986 and it never happened, and we're still dealing with this issue 30 years later, what we're doing isn't working.
Because we always get the amnesty. We always get the bigger government. We always get the people who leech off society. We always get the people that we pay for, but we never get any sort of enforcement. We have no idea who's in this country right now. None. I mean, we are literally, Obama's trying to put 110,000 people from a war-torn, terrorist-ridden country that costs $67,000 a person. Trump is right. You could rebuild every major dilapidated inner city in this country for what we're spending on the Syrian refugee crisis.
Sure.
I want the money to stay in America. I want to rebuild America. I want to keep America safe.
So we can stop sending money to Israel.
Hey, you know what? I think we need to have a long look at how we fund the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. I'm not against that.
We just sent $54 billion to them yesterday.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying you have to have a total realignment of foreign policy, and it starts with pulling people back out of bases that we've been in for 50 years that are not a terrorist, that we cannot be. Johnson, I agree on this. We can't be the world's policeman. But at the same time, we have to police our home country.
Right.
Sure.
And this is where conservatives fail, is that you guys never want to go for the smarter policy.
Now, wait a second. What is this you guys?
Shut up.
What is this you guys stuff?
Listen.
There's nobody in media that's nicer to libertarians than me.
That doesn't mean that you're right. That doesn't mean that you're right at all. That doesn't mean that you make sense. It just means that you're a great guy.
So wait a second. So let's just put this in a real world experience. One of us has been elected, and one of us had great success. Was I just the luckiest son of a bitch that ever lived?
Sure.
I got lucky.
No, I think
lucky.
that you ran for office as a Republican in a 90% Republican county.
But the stuff I did worked. Like, it really worked.
Of course, because you were enacting libertarian-leaning policies.
But I'm saying you label me as this ironclad conservative. I have a lot of views. Hailey and I have this discussion all the time about things, don't we, dear?
Yes.
So you're a Republican that doesn't hate the gays. Congratulations. That doesn't make you a libertarian.
But it does make me that I know what I'm doing.
He's working on the brown people.
Chris, no offense. You get to live in this theoretical, pontificating world.
No, that's bullshit.
You do.
I managed the Libertarian Party of Indiana for 4 years. I ran a state political party.
Yeah, but you've never enacted government policy. You've never had to put ideas into reality.
I've personally served on commissions. We have several elected officials around the state. I worked with Ed Coleman, who was a city councilman, an Indianapolis City County councilman, in writing proposals for the Indianapolis city government. I worked as a reporter for 4 years with Abdul Hakim Shabazz, which was the best training in how policy is enacted. Don't treat me like I don't know what I'm talking about, because I know every bit as much as you do.
Okay, but the point
on probably just as big of a scale, if not bigger.
Then why are your guys getting 4%? I'm telling you right now, the open borders thing, and I talked to a Republican today, an ironclad Republican who on fiscal policy is 100% with Gary Johnson. 100% with his fiscal, and so am I for the most part. He's a very, very smart guy fiscally. He knows what he's doing. He did a good job as governor.
Sure. But
this person said it. They are Johnson voters. They should be in his wheelhouse. He should be the guy they're picking off from Trump, because this person is not aligned with Trump, but they're going to vote with Trump because the open borders thing. It's like when I talked with Rex.
He's not open borders.
He is.
No, he is.
He's not.
So,
He wants
absolutely
to
for
make
anarchy.
He wants to make it
Anarchy.
easier.
Oh, you're so full of shit, Rob.
Rob,
put the camera on me.
Gary Johnson wants to make it easier for poor people to immigrate.
You are you are lying. You are lying, Rob.
Lying,
you are
Rob.
telling falsehoods that you know not to be true. If you had stayed there the other night and you had sat at the forum, or if you had watched...
I was working to pay for his open borders idea. I'm sorry.
No.
Greg Lentz finally decides to join us on Facebook Live.
Right. You are absolutely flat out lying about Gary Johnson. You are using the rhetoric of the left and right paradigm to smear Gary Johnson.
You're so passionate about this.
Because you're not telling the truth. You're lying. You know you're lying, and look at your face.
No.
Hailey, back me up. That's his lying face.
It's his lion face.
That's his lying Rob face.
Hailey's seen my lying face.
That's not his lying face.
That's not his lying face.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Like I'm on Hillary Clinton's trial.
Gary is not an anarchist. He's the most common sense libertarian, to the point where most libertarians don't like Gary Johnson because he's not anarchist enough
He has
for them.
no plan to get people out of this country who are here illegally. He has no plan to document how to effectively document who's going to be here, and he has no plan to clean up and deal with the cost
you
of the
think
people
it's
that are going to be here.
feasible to pick up families, tear them apart, and send them back to
Are we a nation of laws, or
All
aren't
right,
we?
so johnsonwell.com.
No.
No.
Are we a nation of laws, or aren't we?
We're going to read what Gary Johnson has on his website, and you're going to sit here and you're going to listen. Put down your microphone. Put down your microphone. Put it down. I will turn your mic off,
Well, you
Rob.
can turn it off. That's fine.
All right.
Look at this. Chris Spangle.
Turned it off.
I turned it
He
off.
cut my mic. Haley, go.
Having served as
He's going to cut her mic, too.
yeah, she's off. Having served as governor of a border state, Gary Johnson knows the complex issues associated with immigration reform firsthand. Solving immigration problems is not as easy as building a wall or simply offering amnesty. We should appreciate and respect the diversity of immigrants that come to the United States to be productive members of society. But we also need to recognize that not everyone who comes here is not so well-intentioned. Could you put your phone down? There will be a test.
The public's going to know that you censored me.
Gary Johnson and Bill Weld don't want to build an expensive and useless wall that apparently has been our policy since 1986 and has not actually been built, Rob. The only thing a big wall will do is increase the size of the ladders, the depths of the tunnels, and the width of the divisions between us. Candidates who say they want to militarize the border, build fences, and impose punitive measures on good people ground their position in popular rhetoric, not practical solutions. Gary Johnson and Weld believe that instead of appealing to emotions and demonizing immigrants, we should focus on creating a more efficient system of providing work visas, conducting effective background checks, Rob, and incentivizing non-citizens to pay their taxes, obtain proof of employment, and otherwise assimilate with our diverse society. Making it simpler and more efficient to enter the United States illegally will provide greater security than a wall by allowing law enforcement to focus on those who threaten our country, not those who want to be a part of it. So it sounds like pretty practical solutions, almost exactly what George Bush proposed in 2006 and got skewed by the Republicans for.
I love George Bush.
Right.
Your mic's cut. It's too bad you didn't hear that.
No, your mics were on the whole time.
So everyone knows how much I love George Bush.
Yeah. So
I don't think
We
Rob
both
was
have
listening to
schnauzers.
any
no,
of
he
that.
wasn't listening because
No. I've heard it, Chris. I've read it. It looks nice in print, but it's not feasible. You tell that.
how is it not feasible that
Chris.
he proposed exactly what George Bush
Because
proposed in
Chris,
2006
Chris,
as a direction moving towards effective immigration
Chris.
policy? What you are proposing doesn't work.
Okay.
It hasn't worked.
We've never tried it. What do you mean it doesn't work?
It doesn't work.
We've never done it. Chris, there are cities in this country where the federal government sends millions, if not billions of dollars a year that have violent, dangerous, psychopathic murderers living in them. They kill American citizens, and we do nothing.
What percentage of immigrants are you talking about?
It doesn't matter if it's...
What percentage of immigrants are you talking about?
0.1,
You are using rhetoric and you are
No.
not using facts
Chris,
and statistics.
why do we have laws?
You are
Why do we-
demonizing.
why do we have laws?
You are demonizing
Do you not want to pay your
immigrants.
taxes?
You are demonizing immigrants.
Do you not want to drive the speed limit?
You are no, I don't.
Oh, I'm
actually.
done with that.
Yeah,
Do you not want to obey an officer's command if he pulls you over?
Rob. What
do you not want to pay your water bill?
What percentage
What
of
law
immigrants
should you be allowed to ignore?
What immigrants? I think you should be allowed to ignore all of them.
Okay,
quite frankly.
but I'm saying right now, what laws do I get to ignore?
You
What
can-
laws do I get to ignore if if we're not going to enforce immigration policy? We are not enforcing the law. I'm not proposing anything other than enforce the damn law.
But that's not true. Barack Obama has increased border security. He's deported more people than George Bush did.
Sure. But that doesn't mean when did I get labeled a Bush fan?
So you're an Obama fan.
I'm a Bush fan.
I'm saying that what Barack Obama has done is your plan, and you're not satisfied
No,
with it.
he continues to funnel the money. He's creating
How-
the voting class that will ensure Democrats for a generation. That's what this is all
You
about.
want to label a common sense step towards liberty irrational and unworkable when you're proposing squads of INS agents going out into the public and rounding people up and literally, let me see your papers. That is exactly what you're proposing.
What law do I get to break?
Sure.
Can I pick what law I get to break?
You do it all the time. We are a nation of so many laws that we do that all the time. We live in a society that is over-lawyered.
If I
maybe the
choose,
laws are the problem.
If I choose, okay, that's fine. But right now, the laws on the books say we have to know who's coming into.
What code?
I don't know what
law?
The actual law is. There is a
Cite
legal
the law to
there
me.
is a legal process to coming into the country.
Sure.
They're not a citizenship.
Absolutely.
A process to come into America.
Would you like to make that easier for people to?
That's what I just said.
And I think that's what Gary's proposing.
I don't think that's what you're proposing.
I want a big wall with a very wide gate. I want to know exactly who's coming in. I want to make it an honor and a privilege and tough to get into this country because I want people who really want to be here. I want people who want to work, that will be productive members of society, that will strive for good paying jobs, that will pay their taxes, and will be safe, productive members of our society.
So would you say that you believe instead of appealing to emotions and demonizing immigrants, you should focus on creating a more efficient system of providing work visas? Do you agree with that?
I would say that I would
Do you agree?
No.
Answer my question. Rob Kendall.
Stop the bleeding before you...
Are you friends with
Thank you. Let her... She is wording it quite eloquently.
No.
You stop the bleeding before you fix...
But we
get rid of the magnets.
Yeah.
Get rid of the entitlements.
But we have a negative immigration rate. There are more immigrants leaving this country than entering this country at this point. Do you, Rob, agree?
Have the Hailey.
A more efficient...
Oh my gosh.
It's very good, Aaron. Do you believe that we should focus on creating a more efficient system of providing work visas?
Yes.
Do
but
you...
I want them to be quiet. No, wait a second.
Okay.
They need
Rubio.
to be... What's that?
Rubio.
Yeah, there you go. They need to be higher. We need to reward people with skills this country needs and desires.
Do you know any illegal immigrants personally?
Because Aaron has several that work for him.
No, but
I can't say currently that I do.
But,
I know
I mean-
when I was in college and things like that.
sure.
I
Have
did.
you ever been to a third world country, Rob?
I've not been out. Haley and I talk about this. I will not leave my constitutional rights.
Okay.
I have a very hard time.
He loves them so much.
I've been to Haiti probably 25 or 30 times. I've lost count.
Did we get on this take about what he did when he was in Haiti? How he funded the Haitian locals?
I don't know if that's on this take or not.
Probably, knowing my life.
I mean, I have friends that, have immigrated here, but it was years of jumping through hoops and putting money in bank accounts that they didn't have. And, and they were lucky because they already had people here. But, there's several of them that will live their entire lives on that godforsaken island. I love the island and I love the people, but they have zero opportunity because they want you to have $10,000 in the bank. They want you to have a business in Haiti. They want you to have family in Haiti, kids in Haiti, a reason to go back. They really, in order to get a visa, they really don't want you to immigrate. They want you to come here, visit, spend some money, go back. And it's extremely difficult. Maybe the top 1 or 2% of people there are able to do so. And so I'm left here seeing my friends struggle just for a cup of rice a day, if they're lucky. And, given the same opportunities I've been given, I don't think that they would do any worse than I have in life. And most of them probably would do better.
So where does it cut off? Do we just let anybody that comes in that wants to come in?
Why wouldn't you want the economy to grow?
Where
Rob?
does all the money?
Why don't you want people to live in freedom?
Where does all the money come from to fund all these people? Where does it come from?
They fund themselves. The economy grows when you have people that are
illegal immigrants are a
They don't have
massive drain.
but they don't have to be illegal. I'm saying
The
legal.
entire economy of Alabama collapsed several years ago when they banned illegal immigrants from working in their state.
They're
And they
taking
couldn't-
jobs people don't want
Right.
here. I mean, it's impossible
Like
for me.
crawl space repair.
I work in crawl spaces. It's impossible to hire normal Americans to do this job.
But that is not an issue that there aren't people that want work because we have a high employment rate. It's much higher than the government
It's a very
says it
high
is.
turnover.
But that's my point. The point is not just let anybody that comes in. We have no idea what they're here. They're using our services. We're not talking about.
You haven't cited one specific fact. You're just using rhetoric.
I'm talking about San Francisco has been littered
You are
with
using
people.
the same rhetoric. The right. Do you believe in incentivizing non-citizens to pay taxes, Rob?
No. Wait a second. Chris, what would you? No. Wait a second. What would you tell the family of that girl in San Francisco that was assassinated by an illegal immigrant who multiple times had been arrested? They refused to send him back. What would you tell her parents? Sorry for playing. We got to have freedom and liberty. Everybody comes as they please.
Freedom's dangerous.
Governors Johnson and Weld believe that.
What would you tell them?
Instead of appealing to emotions and demonizing immigrants.
You have no answer for that. What you would.
But I'm pointing out that the rhetoric, the argument that
no answer.
When tested,
the answer would be no different if
when you
a
are
normal citizen
tested
killed them.
and requesting facts and factual proof, you then appeal to one emotional story about one girl, one child being killed.
Our nation is littered with those people.
Littered.
But that is not an argument, Rob.
Yes, it is.
That is a manipulation.
People
That's
are
not
dying.
People murder people.
Yes.
Constantly.
Yes,
that is the human condition.
It doesn't make it okay. And I don't want people to die based on people who never should have been here. We know they're here, and we enable the behavior. They're not here to be productive.
How do we enable the behavior?
Because the federal government sends millions, if not billions of dollars to those cities every single year.
Which
I like to apply the whole thing hire slow and fire fast in my business. So I would do the same thing with immigration.
Wait,
hire slow. So you vet the people.
Right.
And in a slow, drawn out process so you know who they are. Even though you're not allowed to ask a lot of questions, you wish you could. But you fire fast. When you find out they're not the person you think they are.
Woman?
So maybe we let a lot of people in, and then once they've proven themselves not to be the type of person they told us they were, we deport them
How
fast.
are you going to do that? We don't even deport the people that are here now that we know they're here.
The other argument that you're using is that the state is the ultimate authority of morality and ethics. You're saying that if a law is passed, then that should be followed blindly. Do you or do you not agree with nullification, Rob?
A country without borders is not a country.
Do you?
We are nothing.
And that's
we
not
are
what.
Nothing.
But
we
that's
are a
not,
landmass.
And is that what Gary Johnson is proposing?
He is proposing that it is basically an open borders policy is what he's proposing. He has no plan to how to enforce that we have safe, productive people to be here. He has none. It's a brilliant political move, which is why he's doing so well with the Clinton voters. And hey, as a Trump supporter, I'm all go Gary, go. I'm all for that because he's not taking votes from Donald Trump.
And every time he is asked about immigration, who proposed?
No, it's Hogan's Farm, Pumpkin Patch, and Corn Maze. They have a get out and vote.
Gosh, she's so white. She's a white girl.
Haley's over here on Facebook. This is the most compelling argument that We Are Libertarians has had in episodes, and Haley's on Facebook.
You guys are past my bedtime.
See, what's so funny is Haley really wanted to come last time. I was like, why didn't you show? And she's like, he didn't tell me.
That's not how I said. He didn't tell me.
And so I was all excited. I said, honey, we're going to We Are Libertarians. I want you to come. And I'm so glad she's here.
Yeah.
Look,
I am too.
At the end of the day, I'm all for Johnson doing well. You're mistaking me from not wanting him to do well. I think his economic message is great. I think he has a lot of good ideas. I think he's a very compelling person. And most importantly, I think he steals a ton of votes from Hillary Clinton, especially in the youth vote. I'm all for him being in the debates. I've said that publicly. I'm all for participating. That's why I had no problem promoting him in his campaign. I'm a Gary Johnson fan. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't vote for him because I think he has some policies that are insane. He's not going to win, but I want him in there, and I want him to do well.
I think that you are completely misrepresenting what he believes. And as a journalist... As a fellow journalist,
it's sad.
I'm disappointed.
It's very sad.
It's very sad.
They thought
Rob.
enough of me to ask me to interview him. So
you used to be a great journalist.
I used to ask amazing questions.
Used to.
I'm one of like a handful of people in the whole country that can say they interviewed Donald Trump and Gary Johnson. But my career has just taken a downward spiral.
It all ended on We Are Libertarians.
I think you were really nice to him. You weren't this harsh.
Well, but what am I going to say? What am I going to do? Grill Gary Johnson? I mean, they're very nice to let me do that and. Nobody cares. I mean,
thank you.
Yeah, God bless you.
Thank you.
Nobody cares.
You could have been the next Aleppo question.
Yeah, and I don't want to be.
Right.
I don't. That's a disservice to the campaign. It's a disservice to him. It's an honor for me to be able to interview him because the guy is going to accrue more than 10 million votes.
Mm-hmm.
He is going to have a profound impact on our nation in this election.
And you want to take credit for
And
it.
and he deserves a lot of respect, yes. Oh, I thought you had a
I
point.
was just trying not to sneeze again.
Oh, okay.
Poor thing's allergic
But-
to cats.
I've always said that. When I had John Gregg on, I think John Gregg says some stuff that are insane, but I'm not going to grill him because...
And I'm saying you fundamentally don't know what Gary Johnson believes on immigration.
No,
You're
I
saying,
would just disagree. You have no answer on what you would tell that poor family whose
The same
daughter
thing
died.
I would tell them if someone
We didn't do
a
our
natural-born
job.
citizen did the
No,
same
no, no.
thing.
Right,
It's
exactly.
a horrible.
You openly didn't. The federal government openly didn't do their job. They openly ignored this guy was here. They had him in custody. They arrested him multiple times. He was a violent offender. And this isn't a one.
I don't think-
one-off
So
story.
you're telling me
I don't think
that...
we're saying they should stay here, though.
Right.
I don't think anyone's ever said that.
So you're... that's exactly right. So...
When Gary
It's-
Johnson tells me he will cut off all federal aid to cities that openly harbor illegal immigrants or defy any federal regulations, then I'll start believing he's serious.
As a libertarian candidate for president, you don't think that he wouldn't be okay with that?
He's never mentioned that at all. All he talks about is how many people he can bring in. And again, because he's playing to the left. It's a good political move.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. It's a very good political move.
So if you... I just have never heard you talk about this issue before. I mean, are you starting an advocacy group to go to those city councils and start changing those? Change it from the inside, Rob. Go to San Francisco, start an advocacy group.
I'm needed here.
Start going to...
I'm thinking about making some memes, and Rob Kendall as a militiaman comes to mind, and just a minute man on the border ready to kill some Mexicans with his AR-15.
He's a
He's
Mexican bounty hunter.
He's got rage in his eyes, Chris.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I've said I'm voting for Donald Trump for two reasons. I believe he will solve the immigration issue, which I think is a massive drain on our economy and a huge issue, and the Supreme Court.
So when you're telling me that...
And he picked Mike Pence.
And, yes, God bless him.
He picked Mike Pence. How do you feel about that, Rob?
I've said very openly that, and I know the governor well. I worked for his campaign.
Name dropping Rob.
Name dropping Rob. I served under him as the director of the Indiana Board of Pharmacy, but I thought he could have picked somebody that would have been better for the campaign.
Or the country?
And the Republicans were so mean to me when I said that.
Of course.
They were brutal.
Because Rob, you don't go against Republican orthodoxy. Republicans are a top-down party. You know this is better than I do. Republicans love order, and they love everybody to fall in the line. And when you get out of line, they spank you. And you've been spanked plenty of times.
I told Hailey, I said they were so mean to me, some of them, and I said, you can be... just because you don't think somebody's the best choice for a position, especially as somebody who worked so hard to get Trump to that position. And it's also amazing the bandwagon people, the people that suddenly became huge Donald Trump fans who were in this state, who were the most anti-Donald Trump people
The
in the
Lion
room.
Ted folks.
They were suddenly all on board.
Yeah. So back to your... I don't think that... What would I say to that family? Well, I would have a very compassionate human response because the person that killed that person, their nationality doesn't matter to me. When your family member is murdered,
Excuse me, which flag do you...
Right, that's my
have in your
first
front yard?
question. But that's never my first question. I just think that it's idiocy to say that we are going to, because the system failed and this guy wasn't picked up 3 times. See, this is what Lion Rob does. He just ignores you when you're trying to make a point.
By the way, you will love this while you're trying to finish
Yes.
here. Somebody at a public meeting last night brought my name up, and they apparently asked a question or something. I wasn't there, and the person didn't answer the question. They go, "You're just like that Rob Kendall. He was always dodging everything."
Dodging Rob!
I've been going for
dodging
10
Rob.
months. What am I getting called out for?
Dodging Rob.
So there's a couple questions or thoughts that I have about your sanctuary city. First is, if the guy wasn't sent back 3 times after he'd been caught, he was a known a person of interest, let's say, the system failed. The system was monitoring it, and it failed. Empowering that system more and giving them more resources to piss away doesn't seem like common sense to me.
The system didn't fail. That's what they want. That's what the current administration wants.
But that doesn't change because of the nature of bureaucracy. And this is the fault with the conservative argument, that if we can perfect it better than the other guys. we can make the state better than the left. And that's not how it works.
But Trump is not conservative, Chris.
But he's not going to be effective either, Rob.
Okay.
He's going to grow the size of government. He's going to amass more power and bureaucracies. And what is going to happen? What happens when bureaucracies get power? Self-interest takes over, and inaction happens, and lives are ruined. So my problem with the San Francisco example
This is a very slippery slope argument.
No, it isn't at all. It's the truth. This is how
You don't remember
government
George
works.
Bush in the authoritarian days with the Patriot Act? Fascist.
Look at any local system, and none of it is functioning correctly because bureaucracy doesn't work.
You mean the system that had $300 million of new assessed value, cut tax rates 18%, avoided a massive tax referendum because of the growth of that town? That system wasn't functioning correctly?
That's apples and oranges.
No, you just said none of them are functioning correctly.
We're comparing a federal agency like the INS to the Brownsburg Town Council.
but you just said none of
That's
them
not
are
a fair
functioning
comparison,
correctly.
Rob.
You just said none of
That's
them are-
not how the government works. There are so many layers of bureaucracy in operation when you're dealing with federal policy. Second argument against your San Francisco and sanctuary city: if San Francisco wants to be a sanctuary city, they can be. That's called freedom. That's called local control. That's what we want in America.
Not when they take my money, Chris.
That's and in that we're in total agreement.
So you are for cutting off all federal aid to sanctuary cities.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm for cutting off federal aid to every city.
But your candidate for president is not.
Have you heard him say
Have
yes
you heard
or
him
no?
say that he would?
Have you heard him
If
say
he
yes
was,
or no?
he would have said, Chris, it's a political
No.
play. I don't know why you're running
You're
from
not
it.
going to argue. I'm not running from you. I'm saying your logic is so flawed. It hurts me, Rob, to see logical fallacy, Rob. I can't
Dodging
take it.
Rob.
You're so smart and you're so talented. You're better than this. To say that because he hasn't said anything on it, he must agree with it it's like, I've never heard you, Rob, say that child rape is bad, so therefore you must think that child rape is okay.
He certainly is willing to talk about open borders.
Absolutely.
So he's willing to talk about open borders, but he has no opinion on.
I don't
he
think
just leaves it open.
I don't
For
think
the
it's open
record-
borders. It's like you said, big fence, wide gate. He was he was a governor,
But he
two-term
has
governor
no plan for the
of
fence.
a border
He has
state.
no plan
Because-
for the fence.
We
For
don't need
the-
a fence.
The fence? Is that what, or
a-
defense?
A secure southern border. No plan. Nothing.
What is Donald Trump's plan?
Fences keep people in too, Rob.
You're trying,
Okay?
right?
Oh, that's the Ron Paul argument from 2012.
It is.
And it's pretty accurate. Ask the Japanese in 1945.
So you think the plan
In San
is that everybody
Francisco.
would massively flee to Mexico or the Gulf of Mexico, or like what? Where would that keep people? My God, we must give up our constitutional rights and head to Mexico. That's what you think we're trying to keep people in
like
from?
the Romneys did?
I mean, is that what you think?
It's pretty good.
I can
Rob.
assure you, I will never attempt to flee to Mexico.
Well,
I just got an
You don't know.
I just got an Instagram notification from someone called
maybe
Cosmic Cosby. Okay.
turn your phone off.
Well, hello there.
This is a professional broadcast. How dare
Look,
you?
we're just not going to agree on this issue, and that's okay.
That's
all
No,
right. I'm
and,
right,
and,
you're
and,
wrong.
and I'm
Great
all
podcast.
for Gary Johnson
Listen,
doing very well.
This is great.
I know what I'm talking about, and you just want to listen to Donald Trump's hyperbole and
Hey.
falsehoods. That's okay.
I'm
I still love you.
Once you've looked into the God Emperor's eyes, you just never,
the
ever
glowing,
How did
the
he s-
glowing eyes of
how
the
did
God
he-
Emperor.
How did he smell?
I didn't smell him.
I would think that do you think that Donald Trump would smell good?
He dwarfed
No,
Rob
I think
Kendall.
he'd
He's tall.
He's a
like-
big dude.
He's huge.
Go
Is
ahead.
he really?
Oh, yeah, big dude.
6'2", 267 pounds. He's a big man.
According to Dr. Oz, is that right?
Yeah.
Haley, do
Clean
you
bill
think
of health.
do you think that he would he'd smell good?
I have no idea.
You had an opinion just a moment ago. Come on.
No comment.
I think he'd have a little old man smell. Is that what you were going for? A little of that old man mothball smell?
No, that wasn't what I was thinking. I was thinking more of like he's rather orange.
He smells like burnt skin. Yeah, that fake tan, fake and bake that Mrs. X Spangle used to come home with, and
Was your wife a tanner?
it's self tanner. I'd be like, get right in that shower. I don't want to smell that.
That's interesting.
You hate coconuts.
I hate smells. So I have like
you're like Becky. She won't let me wear deodorant that has a smell.
One of the things Hailey made me
it.
do, and it's probably saved my life, is she made me stop tanning. I probably owe my life today to Hailey.
No, that's And Hailey has that perfect alabaster skin. She's got that perfect white skin. Look at her skin.
She's so beautiful.
She's perfect.
I'm so lucky.
Yes.
I've hit the jackpot.
Put that camera on her. Get that camera on her.
Of all facets of my life. I have the most beautiful girlfriend in the whole world.
And apparently he's getting engaged.
And
she doesn't know it.
My favorite memes I ever made were the ones I made. You guys had like engagement-esque pictures, I'm going to call them.
My little sister took those. That's like her hobby is photography, and she's very talented.
Oh, they look great. Great pictures.
Great.
They were such high-quality pictures that I took high-resolution pictures of Donald Trump. And I made it look. It was Rob's dream, honestly. Let's just admit this.
That's what he wakes up in the middle of the night, like, oh.
He's been dreaming to be
Hailey.
cuckolded by Trump. I mean, and I made his dream a possibility. You know, so he
still
got
looks
some
at
pictures.
those photos.
And
It was beautiful.
Photoshop. You were a magical
magic.
memer.
I
Hey, don't
walk
forget,
in and he puts away his phone real quick, and then he's like, I'm like, what are you doing? What are you looking at? And it's always those photos.
He's looking at Bay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're not Bay.
She rushes into the bathroom and he drops his phone, puts the lotion away.
Lotion.
You never have lived until the guy who will be president has told you you're terrific and he wishes all the interviews
That's
could be
because
just like this
You
one.
sucked his dick the whole interview.
I haven't seen an ass sucking like that since I watched pornography several years ago.
It was just as nice to Johnson.
You weren't as nice.
not as nice.
You were not nearly as nice.
You were the greatest person I've ever had the
you were
pleasure
like,
of being in the presence of.
Your ideas
Mr.
are
Trump,
so great.
Mr. Trump. Your eyes, you know, I don't know why everyone's so hard on you. Because
How do you look? Yeah, go ahead, Hailey.
We were on a date the other night, and we were walking by on the canal, and he's like, oh, there's the JW. That's where I met Donald Trump.
So this isn't...
Has he ever done that where we met? No.
Yeah.
We met at Sidelines in beautiful Avon.
Did you really? That's
Yes.
where you met?
That's where we met.
Did you meet her on Tinder first?
No?
No?
You've never heard the story?
No. We need to hear
This
it.
is how Rob met Haley. Haley
Sounds like a song.
Was working for Kelly Mitchell at the time, our wonderful, amazing state treasurer. Kelly spoke. No, you were at a YR meeting. Was this the one Kelly spoke at?
Yes, that's how I met her.
Yeah. So Kelly spoke at a YR meeting. I was not there. I was the vice president. I was going through a rebellious phase of my life. I think I was sleeping in the parking garage in Broad Ripple at the time or something.
At 7 p.m. and
Well, you had bad influence.
I had started, and I think I ended up sleeping in the parking garage. But I got home that night, and I posted pictures, and I let our president know. I said, "Who is the very beautiful girl that was at the event?" Because we don't, normally get beautiful women
in
that
the Republican Party
at the YR events. And he said who it was, and I said, "I must meet that girl.
Right.
I must meet Hailey Nicole."
Well,
But we actually had been in the same room together a couple of times.
We had, and I don't know. I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah. Well,
Probably
your mind
thinking
was
about yourself.
your mind was clouded. Okay.
So
The previous administration was a little rough. So
Previous administration.
Yeah.
but she's so beautiful, and so so I sent her a message, and only knew her as Hailey Nicole. Didn't even know her last name.
Yeah.
Was taking a huge, she was taking a huge gamble, and she met me at Sidelines, and the rest is history.
The rest is history.
And
He's forgetting the part that I didn't know that I hadn't really met him yet. I had thought I met him because at the time I was meeting a ton of people because I was still in the networking phase. So, I mean, I'm still networking, but...
Meaning networking for D or like dating or
For R.
okay.
For Republican.
Okay.
I think she means in the job
Yes.
networking, professional
Oh, okay.
networking.
Professional
All right.
networking. And
Not sexual networking.
I thought I had met him, and I obviously hadn't. And so I was like, oh, I forgot this guy. Crap. What am I going to talk to him about? Like, trying to figure out what I'm going to talk to him about.
Turns out it's Rob. You talked to him about Rob.
it went over well. It was an easy date.
You have to understand, I've known Rob for 3 years now.
First time, did I ever tell you about the first time I hung out with Spangle? He had a car seat in the back of his car, and he invited me to come over to the lobby of his apartment complex and watch movies.
Yeah.
What?
What was that? What event was that?
It was Hannah Drostich's birthday party.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That was a different phase
It
of
was
my
a dark
life.
phase for you.
Yeah. That was
For the cat?
He was harboring illegal immigrants in his house.
It was a codependent phase of my life.
Yeah.
That is past.
Anyway, yeah.
No, Rob came on We Are Libertarians on the show report.
That's right.
Yeah, you were a show report, and I'd never had anybody so complimentary in my life. I thought he was lying to my. I thought, and then the next time he came on, he was just like, "You were the best. I love everything you do." And then that ended when you came into the picture.
Sorry.
Mostly because I think it's hilarious. Like he genuinely I didn't realize how much I pushed his buttons to the point that I actually had to apologize over it. The last time he was here, I was like, man, I really didn't mean to send your girlfriend a dick pic. I did.
It was a meme. It was.
It was.
The penis had sunglasses.
It was not real. Can we please go on record of that?
It was a hot dog and potatoes, and positioned on the hot dog was
It was on Snapchat, so you
glasses.
just accidentally hit her name. And
I meant to send it to Jeff Vibert, and I sent it to
the
Hailey.
wrong name before.
Right, and so Rob apparently had harbored some very strong feelings about me sending a dick pic to his girlfriend.
Rob is
I don't know
very
what's wrong with you.
protective.
meme pic. It was.
Yes.
No, we consider you and the entire We Are Libertarian family like family.
Oh, well,
We love you guys.
ditto. You are.
And I'm still very complimentary. Never miss a show. Love all the podcasts.
Yep.
You guys are so great.
He's just listening to every episode, hoping you bring up Rob Kendall.
No, yeah.
Nobody loves Rob
obviously.
more than Rob.
He's been a part of the Weird Libertarians family from almost the beginning, since 2013, and we love having you here.
You guys are the
having you
best.
part of it.
The real question is, does Kanye West love Kanye West more, or does Rob Kendall love Rob Kendall more?
You tell us, because I want to know the real Rob. I don't feel like I really get to know the real Rob. Hailey, do you feel like you get to know the real Rob?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So the shtick that he does on his radio program and on this program and on Facebook, like, I feel it's a little shticky. I feel like there's a genuine Rob in there somewhere.
His voice
I think
immediately
he is.
changed when you turned on the recorder. Okay?
I think it's just that I think he's a genuinely nice guy. I think he's very passionate. And
Sure.
So, like, you see that when he was in politics and, in the government trying to get things done. And I think that now, he loves people. He loves talking to people. He loves hearing everybody's perspective. And I think that's
No one
the
listens
other-
better than Rob.
I'm a great listener.
He is a very good listener.
What did she say? What did she just say?
He's a very good listener.
See, he's a good listener. He knows what he's doing with his listening stuff. So what is Gary Johnson like in person?
So he's very nice. He was very friendly. I do want to say Wallace and Angela Fisher, did an awesome job with that event. They got me right in. It was very quick. He showed up in his car, and they ushered him right in. He was just sort of standing around, and I'm like, you guys want me to go ahead and do this? They're like, oh, yeah, absolutely. So
Sure.
they just let me set the gear up. He came right down, sat down. Very physically fit. He would be the most physically fit president
He
ever.
is.
He's climbed the tallest mountain on 7 continents.
Well, and I wrote a blog that has not yet been published for Forefront. Maybe I got fired from Forefront and they didn't tell me. I don't know, but I submitted it.
You
so
always
it's-
have a home at We Are Libertarians.
It's not posted yet. Maybe I'll just send it over to you guys. You guys can post it up.
Come on. Anything you write, we want. You too, Hailey.
I said, look,
Okay, thank you.
the mountain climbing stuff is compelling to me because he wasn't bragging about it. Like, I brought it up and he was almost like embarrassed about it.
he's humble.
And I said that would show what sort of president he would be, that he's on to the next task.
Yeah.
Whether you agree with the guy politically or not, he's not a bragger. You talk about the guy scaled Mount Everest. I mean, that's a huge deal.
If you listen
He's a level 5 manager.
if you listen to the press scrum, so on wearelibertarians.com, you can go and watch the video or listen to the audio of the actual event and also the press event. And if you want to know what any press event with any candidate is like, watch the video, because that's exactly what it's like. The candidate walks up, everybody runs in, sticks the microphones in. It's a very typical press conference. And listen to the type of questions that the reporters ask. The reporters ask questions that feed their particular story.
Sure.
And they generally are not listening to the answer. They don't even really care what the candidate says. They just need the footage. And so in that, he talked that he is going to be some bike.
Yeah, the divide, Great Divide.
Yeah,
he's going to bike from Canada to Mexico or something like that.
Something insane. So, and like as he's doing that, I'm just sitting there feeling fat. And I remember that feeling in 2012. Like he said, health is really important to me. It's one of the most important things in my life. I'm very physically fit. I'm 60 years old. I'm going to ride from Mexico to Canada. Then I'm just sitting here like, I had Cracker Barrel last night. I had mac and cheese and chicken and dumplings. Do you need Claritin, by the way?
I think it was Linz who said, "I'm voting for Trump because I want a president."
Likes me in that.
Yeah,
he said, "I want a president that will smack Putin, not climb him."
Yes.
It reminds me so much of Pop. She's doing like the same.
You're
thing
missed
with her
tonight,
mouth.
Linz.
Sorry.
Yeah. Mittens loves to sit in women's bags and purses. So
That sounds compelling.
yeah, she's
like a good life.
huge purse fan.
Yeah, but I think it just says a lot about a guy that he is so into his physical fitness. He is so into his personal appearance, and I think that says a lot about what sort of motivation and passion he would have when he's leading the country.
How far do you think Hillary Clinton would get on that bike ride?
Can you imagine?
Yeah. Can we talk? Let's
Could
talk
she
about
even
that.
walk into the house?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think obviously Rob didn't listen to the event because he doesn't know what Gary Johnson actually believes. But if you go and listen to it, you can hear Gary Johnson talk a little bit about his. He covered most of the major issues in brief. We've got video. We'll be chopping it all up. But let's talk a little bit. Let's
And I want to go on record. One
Go ahead.
final time. I want to just go on record saying I support Gary Johnson being in the debates. I support him being part of the public conversation. I think it is important that he's allowed to have his views heard. I want him to do well, and I do support him being a viable third option because I think until, as I've said many times, the Libertarians are they're really the only hope as a third party.
No one loves diverse opinions like Rob Kendall.
I'm so diverse.
This podcast does not run for free. There is no such thing as a free lunch. You can put that on me now, Aaron. Periscope over here. They're kissing. They're kissing.
No, we were never.
we were
Never
not
mind.
kissing.
This episode, we don't do this for free. This episode, they're kissing again. Yeah. Get it? We always appreciate your financial support. We've got several ways for you to do that. You can do that at wearelibertarians.com through Patreon. You could do it per month through PayPal. You can join the Jeremiah Moral Pizza Society. Jeremiah bought me a pizza. I gave him $7. Still have never bought him a pizza back. But
Lion chair.
Yeah, I think he's lying about that whole story. You can become a Jeremiah Moral Pizza Society. Sarah Potter, his lovely girlfriend, joined before she became Jeremiah's girlfriend. She is a $7 a month subscriber. Thank you to her. CJ Rodine, Aaron Jones.
Bruce Kendall, because we got to go here in just a few minutes.
Okay,
but Bruce Kendall, who's a huge fan of the show,
the biggest.
Bruce loves We Are Libertarians. And every time I come here, he says, "Dad, will you take this allowance and give this $10 to Chris Spangle?" So once again, Bruce Kendall wants to make sure that his membership in good standing is complete with the We Are Libertarians family.
He's such a good boy.
So I'm going to put this on the Spangle cake.
Yes, such a good boy. I love Bruce Kendall. He's the official emotional support animal of We Are Libertarians. So
both your cats are crying now.
They are. Well, they're pains in my ass, and they know why. So we have a lot of costs, and especially as we have grown, and we want to do more. We want to advertise. I promise I'm going to get the damn membership thing done so I can so we can start doing some of the stuff that we talked about. It just has taken us longer than we thought. So if you want to make a one-time per month or per episode donation, you can do that. But you can also get one free audiobook through Audible. I love to read. You look at all my beautiful books over there.
You have many books.
I currently have 114 books checked out of the library. I love books, but I often don't have time to read, so I like to listen to audiobooks. I'm currently listening to Jonah Goldberg's Tyranny of the Cliches.
Very Republican of you.
Oh, Jonah Goldberg's the man, okay? He's one of the most thoughtful people. This book, The Tyranny of Cliches, is so well thought out, and it talks about the language of the left. And there's a lot of echoes in that book of Trump's supporters and the alt-right and how they speak like liberals. If you go check that book out, you can get it for free, along with 100,000 other titles, including works by Ron Paul, Walter Block, Murray Rothbard, and the Cato Institute. You can get that at audibletrial.com/wall. Hillary Clinton's health.
Very concerned.
I don't think I'm a healther. Okay, I'm going to coin the term the healther, like the
Right.
birthers. I don't think I'm a healther. I think Greg is. So we're going to do this a little more in depth on a future episode. I think she has pneumonia, as they say. I don't think that she's probably.
You're a believer, Hailey.
And we're talking about who's idealistic here.
Yeah. It's totally possible, but this is the problem with Hillary Clinton. It doesn't matter if she's sick or not. It doesn't matter. What the problem, the reason she's not electable, is that we can't trust her word at all. Like,
Right.
we don't know if she's telling the truth or not. And if she is telling the truth, nobody believes her. And secondly, the idea that she will not drink water and it is so ludicrous. Like, I drink 6 of these a day. I drink 6 32-ounce Nalgene bottles a day. I drink like a gallon of water. It's why I look so young.
Ewart and I drink 6 of these a day.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
So
At least.
I'm a big proponent of water. It makes me feel so good.
Yeah.
And it makes me look good. It's why
You're beautiful.
I got mistaken for 23 this week.
Did you?
Yeah.
Like, legit?
Legit. The guy goes, "You're 23, right?" I go, "I'm 33." And he goes, "Holy cow." So
You have nice skin.
I have great skin.
No wrinkles.
No. Not
You
well.
look very...
I don't know. I was kind of doing this in the mirror the other day, and I was like, I'm starting
You're
to get
very good looking
that
for 33.
face.
You still have all your hair.
I have luxurious hair.
You do. You still have all your hair. So does Aaron, too.
Aaron has
Noticed-
great Nazi
Aaron has
hair.
great hair.
Yeah. Why don't you flip that camera around and show them that fuckboy fade? So, am I wrong, Hailey? He's like every.
He's a married man.
No, I'm saying, doesn't he have the fuckboy fade?
You can ask
That's
him.
the Hitler
Doesn't-
youth.
Doesn't he have the same
wife.
haircut of
It's a
every?
fashy boy haircut.
Here's what I'm asking you.
The only man I look at is Rob's.
I'm saying, doesn't he have the same hair? Oh boy,
Oh, it's receding.
it's a little rough. A little rough, Rob.
It looks good, though.
You're gonna look great bald. You're gonna look.
I'm getting there quick.
You're gonna look great with the shaved head. I'm gonna love that look on you.
I'm getting there quick.
Haley, here's what
I wouldn't.
Here's what I'm asking. Put the camera on Haley. We need more female time here. Look at that face. Look at that face. Haley, doesn't he have the same haircut of every fuckboy you ever met on Tinder?
I didn't ever meet a bad word boy on Tinder.
You don't say fuck.
Not on public record.
Right.
Only when it
She's
involves
not-
my first and middle name.
Just because Hillary Clinton calls... Yeah. Just because Clinton calls her a deplorable doesn't mean she is.
she is seriously so sweet.
She's not deplorable in
She
any
is
way.
so wonderful.
She's not like
She
her
won't even use words like that.
horrific husband.
Unless I've been a very bad boyfriend and spent too much time at We Are Libertarians.
Last time he was freaking out that he was going to get in trouble, and I had to send a plea to you saying, "Hey, please." Were you upset with him?
She was in bed.
I was already asleep.
Oh, okay.
Told you.
That's just why. He was like, I know she's already going to be asleep.
He was trying to get it in. That's what it was, wasn't it?
Get what in, Chris?
Excuse
What are
me?
you implying?
His
I am
prayers.
not a married woman.
His prayers. What did you think I
Yeah.
was talking about, Haley? You're such a pervert tonight. Oh my
Mine is
goodness.
such in the gutter.
She's disgusting.
But seriously, so you think she has pneumonia? You're buying that?
Oh, I totally buy that. It doesn't mean that she doesn't have a clotting condition, which is totally. She's on Coumadin, and
You don't think she has congestive heart failure?
See, I don't want to speculate. We take what we.
Did you see the blueprints of her quote unquote daughter's apartment with all the MRI machines
No.
and the
You're telling me
What
that
about
See
the
the
body?
picture with the different earrings?
Yeah, what about the body double?
body double, Chris? Go.
the
Tell us about this body
the-
double.
There's two different earrings in the bodies.
the syphilitic holes in her. But her hair was clearly wet or something. Like they took her. I don't know. It's possible she has epilepsy. It's possible she has Parkinson's. It's possible that she has syphilis.
She's definitely incontinent. Okay.
Let's just review. She's with Bill Clinton. I think we all believe Bill Clinton looks like he's dead right
Oh,
now.
he looks terrible.
He probably had to.
They're keeping him alive till the last minute. I guarantee he dies next month just for sympathy votes.
He probably had to have acquired with all the women that he was promiscuous with.
Did you see the Colin Powell email?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
And so
I gotta
she's
find
been
that.
with him. She had to have contracted. I mean, come on.
I mean, he's dicked down enough bimbos to give her something. I mean,
it is. You feel bad because you don't want to see anybody suffer or go through any amount of pain, which is why I'm against illegal immigrants having sanctuary cities where they can kill tax-paying United States citizens. But you don't want to see anybody.
such a hypothetical
You know,
world Rob lives in.
You know,
I know.
I don't want to see anybody suffer. I care about people. That's why I care about people. living that are.
That's why you're so
That's why
compassionate.
That's
Yeah,
why you
that's what
hate the
I'm
brown
saying.
ones.
You're a compassionate conservative.
Yeah,
And,
like the button you have up there on the wall.
All right.
Anyway, so I don't know. That's a Lynn's question. I think Greg should be here because he'll be way more entertaining than we would on it.
We'll get into all the details, but she
He's well-versed.
does have a clotting disorder. She is on Coumadin. My grandmother is on Coumadin. She's 88. A lot of people are on
It's rat
Coumadin.
poison.
Is Grandma still opening the presents?
Yeah, Grandma is not waiting for your turn. Her turn to open presents. She's 87. She's gonna open the presents.
Good for her.
Yeah,
Good for her.
So Coumadin, man, Coumadin's that's a rough disease. But Trump, I don't know that he's a ton healthier. I mean, he has the diet that I do, but he has a very strong constitution. I will say that. He's like me. He hasn't had surgery ever.
He'll live to be 100.
Right.
He's very vibrant. I can vouch for it.
He doesn't have stress because he just doesn't give a shit, nor does he take responsibility for anything.
No.
He that's everybody else's fault. That's always classic narcissistic move. So Hillary, I don't buy the body double. I'm not going to speculate. I think it's interesting to read all that stuff, but when 4chan and Reddit do investigations, people jump off a building because they've been wrongly identified. So
hey, but let's give Drudge credit. Drudge called it. There's some serious health issues going on there, and everybody was picking on Drudge. And as usual, Drudge was right because Drudge is the man.
Yeah, I think we can look at a lot of times. I say don't worry about the conspiracy. Look at exactly what you're being told. Here is a 70-year-old woman that refuses to drink water, the very thing that fills your cells with life.
Reptiles don't drink that much.
Right. And that video of her, it was very a sad video watching her collapse. It was like watching a robot glitch.
Yeah.
And I don't think that I think the Donald Trump robot is glitching too. Did you watch the forum with your hero Donald Trump at the military forum thing?
I did.
Yeah. There was one question where he is like, and we're just going to be we're going to have to take the oil. Remember, make America great again, make America great again. And we're going to take the oil and it's like, did anybody just see that? That was way worse than Aleppo. He just started Tourette'ing make America great again in the middle of
MAGA, baby.
Don't question the God Emperor.
I'm sorry.
Just go with it and let him make America great, Chris.
All right, you're getting the puppy dog eyes from the girlfriend.
She has not seen her dog
She's
in
tired.
2 days.
It's 9 o'clock.
We went and saw the lovely dog Poppy. We love Poppy. For about 20 minutes before we came here. So
Not even that.
Big Poppy?
we need to go see Poppy. Poppy and Bruce are trying to learn to coexist. So it's a
Well, you got 2 dogs. Why don't you redistribute one to Aaron?
Hashtag, hey, Rob.
Aaron, do you miss your dog?
I miss McRussell. Will he be coming back anytime soon?
Oh, he's making
We love
appearance.
McRussell.
He's making appearances.
McRussell and Larry. I miss Larry too. Where is Larry?
I have done the public a great disservice by not banging Larry out. Yeah.
I want to have Larry on my show.
I promise you can have Larry on if you want to. He'll come on and he'll set you straight. He's been watching so many hours of Hannity, and Hannity has all the answers.
Hey, Hannity's the best.
Haley's mom loves Hannity.
Hannity, he's being attacked by this Glenn Beck person who looks like. Let's be honest. He looks like Mrs. Doubtfire a little bit. He's a little pussy. And when Mrs. Doubtfire starts telling you things, you just have to remember that that's actually a man in there. That's not a woman, and he's not telling you the truth. And so you need to listen to a good American boy, a nice Protestant Christian man like Sean Hannity, who goes to church every weekend.
He's good at throwing footballs.
He's
got an arm
very
on him.
good.
Got an arm on
And I'll
him.
tell you what, when Larry is on is it the Snapchat?
Yeah, it's
Larry?
Snapchat.
Snapchat. Is he like
he's
a
like
geriatric?
90.
Yeah, that's Larry's face. We love Larry's face.
Yeah, it's the filter where it's with the upside down mouth.
Oh.
And so
And I will tell Haley, we've got to watch it again. We've got to watch it again.
it's all on my YouTube channel, Chris
Larry's
Spangle.
so funny.
Chris
And
Spangle.
everyone wants to know why Rob doesn't have an Instagram.
I don't know why you don't.
It's on the Snapchat, isn't
Right.
it?
He doesn't have.
We're
either.
still trying to teach him Facebook.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll finish up with Colin Powell, but let's start wrapping up. And at the end, we like to give you the floor, and you get to talk about whatever you'd like. So you've been here; you're a veteran. Show Haley how it's done. Be like 10 cup. Wrap your arms around her waist and guide her through the end of the show.
That's later.
Yeah. When they like to hold hands while they pray.
We do.
We do. We prayed at Qdoba earlier when we had our
That's cute.
Qdoba, see?
That's the most
We eat
rustling
at
thing he
Qdoba.
said tonight.
How could I be racist?
Let me say, Aaron is unrestable. I just made a joke about his dead dog that died less than a week ago.
Yeah.
And I'm a real asshole for it, but it didn't bother him at all. He laughed.
Yeah.
And that's why I do it. It's because it's wrong, and that's why you do it. Aaron,
Yes.
atheism is a religion.
I'm not an atheist.
You are an atheist.
No.
You are an atheist.
No.
You sit there and you watch Richard Dawkins and you spout off your anti-God bullshit. You're an atheist.
No.
And
No.
atheism is a religion. Agnosticism is a religion for that matter.
Okay.
Is it not?
Agnosticism,
Yeah.
the lack of knowing,
Yes.
is...
It's a rigid belief system about the deity.
No. It's not. It's the opposite of a rigid belief system. It's the
belief that
lack
there
of.
is,
It's
though.
the lack of belief. It's
He can't
the
even hold the camera.
It's the unknowing.
He's trying to do so much.
See how mad he's getting?
such
I'm not mad. I can't believe we're having this conversation.
I'm not mad.
Okay, Chris.
Smile, dang it.
No, it's just
See, but that's
Turn
the,
that thing back around and put that pretty haircut on TV for everybody.
no.
But see, when you say you're
It's just that it just bothers me that you think the lack of believing
talking
something
with his hands,
is-
he's exercising right now.
I'm Italian. Okay.
James' niece is watching at home going, stop moving the camera.
He's. I love that Trump's exercise is moving his hands on the campaign trail.
Chris knows how to push my buttons,
It's
and he's doing it while I'm under the gun, and he thinks it's funny. He's laughing. Look at him.
so funny.
We'll have this nuanced conversation later amongst ourselves.
Anyway, you guys are
Kick my ass.
so wonderful. We are libertarians. We love you guys.
Thank you,
You're
Rob.
absolutely the best. Everybody, whether you're a libertarian or not, needs to support We Are Libertarians. You guys are great for public dialogue. You're great for public discourse. We need the libertarians to do well. Hailey and I talk about this all the time, even though we are Republicans. I'm sure they're going to kick me out pretty soon. But we need third parties to start doing better to hold the two parties accountable. So you guys are absolutely awesome. We love We Are Libertarians.
Where can shameless self promote too?
Yes. I was just trying to promote you guys because I'm so giving.
Well, I know you're very generous.
That's how I got Gary Johnson.
You're
I'm
not
so-
as generous
so
and thorough as
giving.
I am, but
Really?
hey,
Oh.
Isn't that Dumb and Dumber? He winked at me.
He winked at me.
At Robin Kendall on Twitter. Central Indiana Today, of which Chris was a veteran of,
been there.
airs 7 to 7:30 weeknights. WIRZ 98.9. You can find a podcast of every episode, including the interview with Gary Johnson at WIRZ.org.
And can you please get an RSS feed? Put this in a podcast feed for the people.
I don't know how to do that. Would someone like to help me?
I think Chris is well versed.
It literally is uploading it to SoundCloud. It's clicking a button and uploading the file.
Is SoundCloud free? Everyone was saying something
We
about
can
paying
do
for
it
Is it like
later.
the
Okay, we'll do it
Snapchat?
later.
$15 a month to be a superstar, Rob. That's it.
Is it like the Instagram or the Snapchat?
Yeah. Yes, please do this for him. He's missing a huge opportunity. If
Yeah.
he needs a SoundCloud, put it into
We're
iTunes.
working on it, guys.
He has
We're
the
working
golden
on it.
voice.
I'll get a SoundCloud.
Okay.
Perfect.
And then you and I can work on making him
Famous.
Yeah.
usable.
Yeah.
My goal in life is to get a job in radio or make $10 an hour.
That's. I know a guy working $12 an hour, so your goals are a little low. So, Hailey, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having
It's been
me.
wonderful
fun.
having you. You're so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
So you are just delightful. You can come back anytime,
Thank you.
especially without Rob. So feel free to, if there's anything that is really rustling your jimmies, share it. Okay. Don't look at
Thanks for
him.
having me.
Thank you for joining us, Aaron. What is rustling your jimmies?
You are, Chris.
See what I mean? You're a terrible father. Oh.
Yeah, that's funny, but no, I mean, you mentioned on the last podcast, so I feel like it'd be a disservice to your loyal following if I didn't follow up about my dog, because I had
Yes.
to take a rain check last week. I'm pretty sure Hillary Clinton had poisoned her because she knew I was going to come on the Clinton Cash episode and reveal all sorts of bad things about her. And so, I'm blaming Hillary Clinton for the death of my dog. She was
Fair.
very sick Thursday. I took her to the vet, spent hundreds of dollars on her to no avail. She passed away Sunday.
Well,
So,
Clinton gets another one.
yeah.
Poor Roxy. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Roxy Paul Taters. That's her full name.
That's beautiful. And a cute dog. Wonderful dog.
Beautiful
Yeah.
dog. Bulldog.
If anybody has any
French
bulldogs, especially French bulldogs, maybe you're a breeder, reach out to me. I got a couple piles of Benjamins laying aside for a new dog.
Aren't those supposed to be spent on the We Are Memes marketing?
Yeah,
campaign?
I might dip into the We Are Memes marketing campaign just to get a new dog for my kids for
Can
Christmas.
you seriously meme me as a musket man on the...
Oh, you're going to get memed on so hard.
Don't you?
Seriously, though, bulldogs are awesome dogs, and I'm sorry for your loss because they are great,
Yeah, it
great
sucks.
dogs.
She was like my daughter,
Yeah.
so it sucks.
All right, so I'm going to end with Colin Powell, who is the hero of the week. Rob and I argued through this episode about immigration and him being
Wrong.
totally just misrepresenting
We
everything Gary
passionately
Johnson.
disagreed on how to improve America,
but
Chris.
we remain friends,
Absolutely.
and sometimes lovers. But we're steadfast in our hatred for. I'm warning you right now. He shaves his arms, Haley. This is a sign.
Those aren't shaved.
Yeah, there.
Aaron doesn't shave. He's just Irish.
No,
So-
it's a Cherokee Indian.
But what we all can agree, no matter our
Did you
party,
get free college?
I should have.
it explains the. Never mind. Almost saw my career ending. Before it started, I think Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians, Independents, Green Party people, we all can agree we hate Hillary Clinton. And apparently, Colin Powell too. Colin Powell had his email hacked by some, I guess, alleged Russian hackers, and some of his emails got leaked. And so he wrote, if you want to hit up Colin Powell, you can hit him up at jpowell69@gmail.com.
69? Is that legit?
No, it's it looks like lpowell861@gmail.com.
Now, you just gave out some person's email address, and they're going to get bombarded by the We Are Libertarians
No,
listeners.
the former Secretary of State.
No, that you gave a fake email out.
That's
no,
okay.
No, that's what this hacked email is.
jpowell69 is not his email address.
Oh, yeah. No, that's not it.
That person's going to get nailed.
Well, tell them to listen to Weird Libertarians.
What is the email?
So, regarding Corinthians, this is Saturday, July 26th, 2014. Colin Powell writes, I would rather not have to vote for her, although she is a friend I respect. A 70-year-old person with a long track record, unbridled ambition, greedy, not transformational, with a husband still dicking bimbos at home, according to the New York Post.
Dicking them down.
Dicking them bimbos down, and the memes have
Dicking
been,
Bill.
they have been fantastic.
Dicking them down.
All right, calm down. Thanks. Thanks for joining us. Do you think that you can handle the tagline at the end? Can you fill in Greg's massive size 14 shoe?
We'll see.
All right. So thank you all for joining us. Please go to audibletrial.com/WAL. Get your free auto. That Jonah Goldberg book that he reads himself is so good. So check that out. Rob's an author. We need to get him on Audible. He's written many
True,
books.
I did write 2 books.
Yep. So
Self-published.
That was the greatest 6 months of my life.
Spanking City Hall.
yeah. All right. So thank you for joining us here on this episode of Weird Libertarians. We love you guys. Please share this episode with a friend. And as always, we promise
To do better next time. Is that not good? No?
it's just a little fruity, but
Okay.
that's all right.
I liked it. It was good.
Nothing
It was
wrong
good.
with that. Yeah.
It came out weird.
It's your haircut.
Hi, this is Chris Spangle. Can you hear how good I sound? I sound great. And you know why? It's because listeners like you go to wearelibertarians.com/wishlist and you help us purchase new equipment. And then we take that equipment and we hook it all up and then we sound really good. And the only thing that can possibly go wrong is if I forget to hit record one more time. So, if you want us to help... If you want us to... Listen, getting new equipment isn't going to make everything better. There's still going to be problems with people like me and talking into the microphone, but you can make us sound really good as we're messing up by going to wearelibertarians.com/wishlist and purchasing an item today. It helps us grow, it helps us do more, and it helps us make sound better. Make sound better? That doesn't even mean anything. Well, I'm still not giving up, and I hope you weren't either. So please, wearelibertarians.com/wishlist. Thank you for listening to the We're Libertarians Network. Get our other shows at wearelibertarians.com.